Aviation Week is an annual event held in conjunction with Orville Wright's birthday. It is a week-long celebration in South Carolina promoting aviation through events that highlights airports' educational and economic impacts. Typically, we hold events like this and others at our airport, but this year is far from typical with the virus and social distancing requirements. Please enjoy the presentation and learn what the Georgetown County Airport is, what we provide, what opportunities are available, and what fun and excitement is available at your local airport. When my wife and I moved our family to South Carolina to manage both the county airports, our new friends and new neighbors often made statements like, "I didn't know Georgetown County had an airport." This is true at many airports across the country. Most people only know of commercial airports serving the airlines. Smaller general aviation airports are most often used by businesses, on-demand charter companies, and pleasure flyers. The Georgetown County Airport is unique because it's also a destination airport. The term destination airport means many of our users have a second or a vacation home along the Grand Strand and they visit often. Our airport caters to these travelers who try to avoid the congestion of Myrtle Beach to our north and Charleston Airport to our south. Airports strive to be self-sustaining and provide a mechanism to contribute or impact the local economy. The value of airports is often measured in economic impact. On a simple expense versus income statement, we generate more revenues than it costs us to operate these facilities. On the big picture of economic impact, the Georgetown County Airport contributes over $19.5 million to our local economy and includes things such as employment, payroll, and spending of all parties associated with the airport.
I think people overlook the economic impact that the airport actually makes because for about probably 60% of the people in Georgetown County, they don't even know this place exists. But it fundamentally, if you just think about it, how the airplanes come, I pay property tax on this plane. That money goes into the coffers at Georgetown County. I have my maintenance done here. That impacts the employment of people. I get my fuel here all the time. And just the overall traffic that comes into this airport generates an enormous amount of financial gains for the county of Georgetown in terms of the tourists that come through here that stay at the beach and fly in for a weekend. They rent the condos and the houses all the way up to Myrtle Beach with it. You know, we've taken people that have come in and we haven't been able to get them transportation, so we've driven them to their resort stay for the week.
My name is Michael Clevenger. I've got a small management company where we manage and take care of aircraft for customers who are business customers, who are family customers. It's called Integrity Flight Management. When you own a larger scale airplane, bigger than this airplane, typically you need a company to help you with that management process. The scheduling of maintenance and scheduling of flights. We work on systems to improve fuel purchasing and generally help people plan their lives and their business lives around aviation. This airplane is a Beechcraft Baron. It's the smaller version of the airplanes that we manage. It has 6 seats, including the passenger pilot seats. Typically it's used for small, short runs, short of a couple hundred miles. We run it back and forth to North Carolina. We go up the coast. The owner of this airplane has multiple businesses in the Southeast, and we use that to minimize his time to travel. We can hit more of his businesses and get more done in a day using this airplane out of Georgetown than we can if he's driving in a car. Airplanes are typically time machines. They're for people who don't have a lot of time. And so this way we can save people time. So smaller are the airplanes that we manage. We've got a couple of King Air 350s, which are a large turboprop airplane. It's for longer distances, goes to higher altitude. It's a pressurized airplane. It holds more people. And then we've got 2 jets, which are obviously faster and do similar long-term, long-distance flights where we go to South Florida. We've got a client who owns businesses in South Florida as well here in the Southeast. We've got clients that have businesses and homes in Texas and Colorado, and we use those airplanes to help them move between those places. So we've been actually flying in and out of Georgetown for probably about 7 or 8 years now. But we've only been based here for about within the last year. We've had the advantage of developing a large clientele down here. We've got a lot of people here, customers and customers, that we can help with their travel needs. So we decided to move here because of the facility, because of Seven Rivers Aviation, and the service that we get here and the airport facilities here. It makes it a good home base and a good central base for our operations. We've got airplanes that we have down in Charleston as well as in North Carolina. Georgetown's a good central area for that.
You can do a lot at this little airport that looks kind of bucolic and it's not here. There's a lot out here. There's a lot available. I'm an engineer. I graduated from Purdue with an engineering degree. And most of my career is spent involved with aviation, particularly with experimental aviation. And meanwhile, I was also flying as a general aviation pilot in small light planes. And when I retired, after all that flying around, I obviously had to get an airplane. So I did, this one. And this kind of funny looking airplane is actually a Royal Air Force British primary trainer. It was built in Chester, England, and went immediately into the Royal Air Force. And when they finally decided they'd had enough of it, 44 years later, by the way, I was able to buy it. It's my retirement toy. It's an interesting machine. It's a good trainer. It's also aerobatic, so you can go and play games with it. As I said, I got down here 20 years ago, and I brought the airplane down here. That time, the terminal was a double wide sitting over in the corner, and the only real good hangar was this World War II hangar back here. Now, in that 20 years, this airport has increased considerably, and as Walt was talking about, it's a perfect place to base an airplane, in my opinion. If you want to stay in the Southeast someplace, it's a good place to be. And the people here, of course, are very, very good. I really enjoy them. I mean, the mechanic here, I've got an oddball airplane. It's a British airplane. It has weird things. It's strange systems in it and so forth. And Mike, the mechanic here, took it on, no problem. I got the manuals for him. He studied up on it, and he's maintained my airplane ever since for the last 20 years.
So here at Seven Rivers, we maintain a lot of the smaller private stuff. Everything from single engine 2-seat Cub up to 421, which is a Cessna twin engine, and they usually seat about 8. We do everything from unscheduled breakdowns to annual inspections. So we do an annual inspection basically so the airplane is constantly looked over to keep it safe for the pilot, safe for their passengers, safe for everybody. You're not necessarily taking it apart, but you are opening it up so you can see every part of it. We want to be able to see inside. Down here on the coast. Corrosion is a big deal with the salt air and the humidity and the moisture. You learn the customers, learn the planes.
At Seven Rivers Aviation, we employ 3 full-time airframe and power plant mechanics, 2 of which have their inspection authorization. That allows us to do major repair or alterations and annual inspections. All general aviation aircraft require an inspection every year to ensure their safety and airworthiness. We work on mostly piston-powered aircraft but do some work on turbine and jet aircraft. We have a combined 90 years experience between the three mechanics here. In the near future, we plan on moving to a newer hangar here at the Georgetown County Airport, at which time we're going to expand to avionics installations, including altimeter, transponder certifications.
We do a lot of traveling. My wife and I really enjoy traveling, and we just, on a spur of the moment, we'll just jump in the plane and we'll head down to Florida. My mom used to live down there, my sister's down there, and brother, and she has family up in North Carolina, and we have family still in Buffalo, where we're originally from, where we came from when we moved to Georgetown. And so we hop on the plane. My wife has one bad habit. I have a multitude of bad habits. She only has one. She likes to go to the casinos, and it's a good excuse because we'll fly to them. And it's really just another excuse for flying to go where we want to go. The trip to North Carolina, which is where I'm headed right now to go pick her up. I'm going to go up to North Carolina, a small airport. It's about 45 miles north of Charlotte, but it only takes me 12 minutes to get to where she's staying from where the airport is, and it's really convenient, and that's what this offers you, the ability to fly into a smaller airport, usually closer to wherever your destination is. It's the uniqueness of general aviation, and it offers you a lot of freedoms, and it gets to a point where you can actually justify it. Takes me better part of 4 hours and 45 minutes to get to their house driving, and my knuckles are white by the time I get there, and I definitely need a drink by the time I get there to calm my nerves. This takes me an hour and 10 minutes to get there, and it's absolutely peace and calm and relaxing all the way up there, and talking with air traffic control. And it's fun to watch. I worked here when I first came here. The way I got involved with the airport was I came down here and I worked here for two years. And watching what flew in here, I mean, there was a point in time where there were two of us working, and we worked from dawn to dusk. And the planes that were lined up here on the ramp on a holiday weekend with the jets and everything else, it's an enormous amount of money that comes into this airport that very few people get to witness. And once you hang out here, or you come down to the airport and just sit around, it's a beautiful terminal. It represents Georgetown incredibly well. If I took you to some of the airports that my wife and I have flown into, and we showed you what some of these buildings look like for these airports that are quote unquote in big cities, I'm telling you, this building, this airport, this facility, the people that work here, put them to shame. They should all come here and learn how to put up a general aviation terminal and learn how to run it to make the customers feel like they're the most important thing that anything has happened in that day, in that moment in time. They treat you well here. It's a very comfortable, convenient airport for keeping my plane at. And the economics of owning an airplane, there's no justifications for it, believe me. But you know, it's a hobby. It's what I do. It's what I love, and I do it as inexpensively as I possibly can. And these guys watch out for me pretty good, you know, in terms of what they charge and what the expenses are. There's some inherent expenses that you have. It's an airplane, you know. It's not normal. I'm not normal. The fact that I'm on the airport commission, I had been going to the meetings pretty regular, just because of my interest in the airport and maintaining it and seeing what it took to keep a place this size running. And I didn't really know how it worked. He put me on in that position. Then I learned what it took to run this airport, and the amount of money and hours that are involved in maintaining it to make it look like it looks and to still continue to grow. This airport has never stood still. I can't tell you the difference in what we as pilots, and I want to tell you there's a vast difference in having a manager here that has managed an airport prior to coming here, and what he's put into this place, and how we've all watched it evolve into something bigger and better with the if people come to the airport and they get to actually see what I'm talking about and listen to what I'm saying, they won't be disappointed if they come into the airport. It's quite an improved facility compared to every place else that they go.
The Georgetown County Airport is proud of our beautiful low-country-inspired terminal building that features all the amenities that passengers and pilots expect. It represents the area very well and provides travelers with a fantastic first impression of the county. The county has also blessed us with 41 private aircraft hangars, 2 12,000 square foot corporate hangars. This affords us the ability to accept new aircraft to our airfield, providing the county coffers additional property tax revenues. In addition to the county-owned and operated hangars at Georgetown, we have 3 additional corporate hangars that were built with private monies to house the aircraft of their owners. The people that make the true first impression with our users is our fixed-based operator, Seven Rivers Aviation, and their award-winning staff. They provide the fueling services, aircraft maintenance, flight instruction, aircraft rental, and concierge services for our travelers.
Well, we start off by meeting and greeting every customer. We try to pride ourselves in giving exceptional customer service by rental cars, pulling cars around to them, loading up the airplanes, pretty much helping them do whatever they need to do to accommodate their stay here. We look forward to them coming in, staying with us, and coming back to see us. Whether it's a J3 Cub or CJ3, we try to treat everybody the same. As far as any service we give them, we recommend our local restaurants to them that downtown, so it's good for them to go and try out. And usually we get great response back from them from our recommendations. So a lot of them do like the area a lot, and we try to promote the downtown area also. So sends business all over Georgetown. We try to treat everybody and try to make it their second home, because a lot of people come to this area as vacation spots, and that's what they really do like about this area. That they say it's very homely, and the people are very generous here, and help them out with whatever they need.
There are many job opportunities or career paths that airports offer. Most think of the obvious, pilots, but there are many other career paths that most do not immediately think of, such as aircraft mechanics, meteorologists, air traffic control, engineering, FBO management, security, electricians, and many more. Most, if not all of us, at any general aviation airport across this great country are giving and caring people. We love to give back to the community, and especially to our area's youth. We offer school tours at the airport and often give children their first flight lesson by putting them behind the controls and explaining the principles of flight. There is also a fantastic group of local pilots who give back to the area's youth by donating their time and aircraft, giving children aged 8 to 18 their first airplane flight through the Young Eagles program.
I'm heavily involved with a program called Young Eagles, where pilots like me and other pilots that I know, particularly at this airport, we get groups together of children from 8 to 18 and give them an introductory flight. We take them up to 20, 30 minutes after we have given them some classroom time and how things work. We're trying to obviously get them interested in aviation in general, and we can give them a lot of pointers on potential jobs that might be available and what they might be interested in doing, and it gives them a chance to see how they feel about flying. Now that's a 2-seat airplane. You've got me up front, and I got one person in the back. I've flown 115 kids in the back seat of this airplane. 20 minutes apart a piece. It's a bunch of people, and I have had a ball every time. And my My reason for doing it is the great big smile I see on their faces when I'm back down on the ground and they get out of the airplane. And I took one kid up. I remember it was a second flight, so we were able to do a little bit more than we did on the first flight. And he came down. The first thing he said to his parents was, "I gotta get me one of those." And that is a reaction. That is the kind of thing we're going for. We want to show that there's a lot you can do with this. It's just fun flying at this point, but it leads to careers also if they're interested. And I have known a couple people. A friend of mine, I took his son for his first flight in any airplane whatsoever. That son is now flying freighters all over Asia, 747 freighters. I obviously got him interested. I have a really good cadre of pilots at this airport that I could call on. And we had, at one point, we flew 100 kids in one day. We had 5 airplanes going from about 8 in the morning till about 7:30 at night, continuously. And I mean, every one of them had this great big smile when they come back. You know, the pilots, we volunteer our time, our airplanes, our fuel money, everything to do this. And it's because of that smile when they get down. That's worth every penny that I've spent doing that flight. Plus I get the chance to fly, which I always like.
It's one of my favorite things to do, absolutely flying. They think it's for them, and I want to tell you, I get such a kick out of it. It's tremendous rush for me too, watching the transformation of an individual when they're shaking in their boots before they get in the plane, and then when I get them out of the plane after I've let them fly the plane, they're like beating on their chests saying, "I flew that thing." And it's quite a transformation, and it's a rush for me to watch it happen right in front of my eyes. I mean, these kids are scared bananas. They've never even thought about going up in an airplane, and here they are flying it. And it's pretty exciting. It's a lot of screaming goes on up there, a little bit here and there from the back seat, but not so much from the front seat. But the back seat kid's not quite sure when I say I'm not flying the plane, she is. You know, who's ever sitting next to me. We'll put a cushion in the seat on the co-pilot's chair and set them up so that they can reach everything. Can't quite get to the pedals, but they can get to the yoke pretty easy. And then we just do a quick how-to and let them have it. And it's pretty unique watching them change. Their personalities change right before my eyes. It's quite gratifying.
Your airport supports not only the business and pleasure side of the world, but is also utilized by law enforcement, air medical operations, Coast Guard rescue operations, and is used as a staging area in the event of hurricanes. Again, if this was a normal year, we would have hosted a couple of family-friendly aviation events at the airport, such as aircraft static displays and barnstorming events. Our goal is simple. The more we can show what we do and love translates into getting someone excited and involved in aviation. We need people to carry on what we do after we are gone. We want to showcase the excitement that general aviation offers and pass it on to the next generation.